Okay, Lance Stephenson and Michael Beasley. That game, that one-on-one game for $100,000. That was a great idea. I forget who put it together. I knew. I don't want to say I knew, but like Michael Beasley's going to win that game every time. Michael Beasley was one of the best players on the planet for a while, and he's gone through some stuff well documented, like mental health stuff, and that has really played a role in what you would say his not living up to maybe his reputation going into. I remember when I was working for the Sixers in PR, Larry Brown was like an advisor, and he would go and scout, because he was basically in between jobs. I think he had left the Pistons to go to the Knicks, and then he got fired by the Knicks or bought out or whatever, and he just kind of spent some time working in Philly as a consultant. But he would come back. I would be watching practice or be the PR rep at practice, and he would come back to PCOM, which is where the Sixers practice, and all I wanted to do was talk about Michael Beasley. I saw Michael Beasley again. I was in Manhattan for that game, and I don't think there's a better player in the country, let alone the Big 12. Larry loved Beasley, and, Michael Beasley was that good. Lance Stephenson was a lockdown defender who had a great series against LeBron James in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I think it was 2013. And then he ended up pulling off a major league heist. The Hornets gave him way too much money, and we didn't hear much from Lance Stephenson. He was a great, contributing member of a team and a guy that you would want as a piece. He was not a star. And Beasley was up 4-0 in this game. Both dudes looked like they were in amazing physical shape. But through the end, obviously Beasley was just able to get buckets to win a one-on-one game. Lance Stephenson almost got into a fight with one of the people that was watching the game. I do think that the next time you want to do this, you probably want to improve security a little bit. I mean, that was kind of scary. But it was super intense. Again, it was for $100,000. And it urged me to send out this text to some of the Rogue Media family. Okay. So here was the question I asked. I asked Cam Stewart and I asked Scotty Swingler, and I answered the question myself. If you could pick a one-on-one matchup between two NBA castoffs for $100,000, right? So first thought is you got to have two guys who need the $100K, right? Who needs $100,000? It looked like Lance Stephenson and Michael Beasley sure did. So I had my guys. I'm going to do mine last. I'll tell you. So Cam weighed in with this one, and we're going to go with it, even though one guy is a convicted murderer. He wants Javaris Crittenton and Jimmer Fredette. I mean, that is I would watch that. No question about it. And I think it's Javaris Crittenton every time. Scotty Swingler. First, Scotty weighed in with again, I know I'm all over Scotty. Maybe it's because I miss him. He said Allen Iverson, 50 years old, and Steve Nash, 51. First of all, Steve Nash, at this point, we've all seen Allen Iverson recently, would run circles around Allen Iverson. Steve Nash would. Sorry. We're not talking about 2004. We're talking about 2025. Okay, and I said, hey, bro, we need cast-offs, dude. I said, give me another duo. I need some dudes that will play for $100K like their life depends on it. And then he had a great one. Okay? Jonte Porter, just jettisoned from the NBA due to allegations which were proven of gambling. And Jonte Porter versus O.J. Mayo, which I think is a great one. He said J.R. Smith, too, versus O.J. Mayo, but I don't think J.R. needs it that bad. I think J.R., he was being kicked around for I heard his name mentioned for a pretty big job. He didn't look, I don't think J.R. Smith is hurting for cash. Okay, so I liked his. Mine was a great one. Okay, now I don't think that Markelle Fultz needs the money right now, but I said Brandon Jennings against Markelle Fultz. I would love to see that. Is it Fultz or Fultz? The guy made so little of an impact, right, that I don't even know how to say his name. Probably the craziest story of all time of a number one draft pick, and I look forward to that documentary, by the way. The Markelle Fultz documentary. What the hell happened there? He's changing his shot. I mean, as a Sixers fan, it was awful, especially when you think that Tatum went after him. Let's not get too big into that. All right, what else did I want to talk about? So much. Oh, a couple of sports media wars, right? I was surprised. Of course, where does Stephen A. Smith go to break the news that he's coming back to Sirius Radio? Howard Stern, which I really enjoyed. By the way, I will tell you, Stephen A. has been on Howard Stern twice, 3 times now, including last week's interview. He was on once by himself to promote Straight Shooter, his book. He was on another